Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is RJ. So today we're back in the contract miner. Now they've just added a brand new update, which is the requirement of your miners needing racks. Now this is either going to make you really happy or a bit like me, it's going to make you a little mad. So keep watching. Okay, and welcome to another video. And remember, if this is your first time visiting my channel and you want to learn more about how to earn cryptocurrency for free, about cloud mining sites, crypto investments, and lots of other crypto related stuff, hit that subscribe button and don't forget to tag that notification bell so you're alerted to all my latest content as it comes online. Okay, so as you can see here, we are in the contract miner account. And yes, I have still got my cough, so now and again you might hear me having drinks of water so I'm not spluttering all over you guys. So anyway, this is take two. I actually just spent 45 minutes doing a video for you guys, and like an idiot, instead of pressing stop recording, I pressed exit from the software and everything disappeared. So we're trying to give it another go and hopefully I'll get it right this time. So yeah, so I just want to start off by basically saying that the point of this video is just to discuss the new update, and that is the requirement of your miners to be on racks. That is what we're discussing. We're going to be looking at the positives but also the negatives of this update, but also I'm not here to discourage you from using this site. I'm not here to tell you don't use this site. This site is still a great site for earning crypto from, and I'm not here, I will still be using this site, and I'm not here to sort of really badmouth the developer. I'm not trying to put anyone down or anything like that. The developer works very hard at this site. I know they have a daytime job, and a lot of the time outside of that they are working on this site to improve it and make a better member experience for ourselves. So like I say, that's not what I'm here to do. I'm here to just discuss this update, both positives and negatives. But my biggest problem with this update is simply the way it's been implemented. The update itself I don't have a problem with, but it's the way it's been implemented to the website is what I have a problem with, a big problem with as well. But we're going to look at the positives first. So basically, one of the big positives from this update, if we go into the properties, is this is the property I use. So it used to hold 24 miners. This one used to hold 30 miners. Now basically it comes down to how many racks it can hold. Yeah, so 7 racks will in fact hold 28 miners. So that's an addition of 4 miners. So that is a really good positive. This I think has an addition of 6 miners. So that is a great positive, yeah? So also as well, on another positive, and I don't know if this is going to continue, but right now, and I hope it does continue, right now the price of these properties are the same. They have not changed, they have not gone up in price, they've remained the same. Now the only downside is also what has remained the same is the number of power units. Now I feel if you've got an extra 4 miners or 6 miners in this one, these power units need to be adjusted. So let's say this went up to 250 or 260, this went up to something like 320 to account for those extra miners. I think that all of the power units need to be adjusted upwards to account for those extra miners that these racks are going to hold. So that is probably my only sort of negative with that part of it. Really, like I say, that is mostly positives as far as I'm concerned. So if we dive into the inventory, so basically when you come in here, you will have no racks will be displayed there. But where it says here, racks, it will show a number 1. Now, there is going to be a little bit of inconsistency in this video because, like I say, I've already been through this already. And I showed how to purchase things and all that stuff, which unfortunately I can't do again. So, but I will try and talk you through it. So anyway, like I say, when you come in here, there will be no racks, there'll be nothing, but you'll go into this section. So we'll click on this and you would literally just click on install miner and your first rack is free. According to the developer, that's what they say. The first rack is free. The price is shown as 2000 CMC, which you will not pay, and it will just go into your account like this. And then basically, to add your miners, what you would do is you simply select the rack because you've clicked install on it. Obviously, these two are not installed, but you would click install rack. Then you'd go back to your miners, and then from the drop down you would select the rack, which that is the rack that obviously is available. And then if we just dismount that one, what you do is you then, once you've got your rack selected, you click install miner, and then it will simply appear, and then that miner will start mining for you. So if we add our S5 back, so that again, having the free rack to get you guys started is a plus, especially for those of you that have got small accounts, because basically, and this is something I don't agree with, but we'll discuss it later, is that the cost of the racks also increases according to how many racks you have. So, for instance, your first rack is free, but it's shown as 2,500, yeah? The next rack, sorry, so that is free, and it will but it's shown as 2,000. Sorry, it's shown as 2,000. When you go to the shop and go into the rack section to purchase your second rack, that will be shown as 2,500. So that is an increase of 25% on your next rack. Okay? And like I say, we're going to discuss that later when we get into the negative section. So the next positive, which again, unfortunately, I have already done this, so I can't show you. I'm really sorry I screwed up. I don't know why I clicked exit rather than stop recording when I coming out of when I was finishing. No idea, but there you go. Bit of a just stupidity. Anyway, in this section here, I mean, for me, there is a challenge box. Yeah, for those of you that have just coming in, there'll be 4 challenges. The first challenge, which is again another positive, all you've got to do is mine a certain amount of coins and you will get another rack. Yeah, so that's 2 racks essentially the developer is giving you. Yes, you've got to put in a little bit of work to get that, but it's not a whole lot. It's a very small amount of CMC you've got to mine, and you'll get that second rack. Then you're going to get a 3 small you'll win 3 earn or be rewarded 3 small miners as well. So if we go into properties, then go into inventory, and then scroll down. Okay, so as part of the winning, basically to be rewarded, you're going to get this Antminer UT2, you're going to get an Apollo miner, and you're going to get one of these miners as well. I personally will be banging all 3 of those on the marketplace at some point, because like I said, they're just a little bit low for my account. But for those of you that have got smaller accounts, they're great additions. You know, they're great additions for you to put onto your racks and get mining. And like I say, because of the challenge, you're not really having to do a whole lot. It's just basically you got to mine, and as you've mined X, and once you've mined X amount of coins, you'll get each reward in turn. So like I say, that is also a nice positive. So the other positive is that after speaking to the developer for a while, they basically asked my opinion on whether they should produce a small rack, because if we go into the shop, go to racks, currently this is the only rack you can buy. This is the 4 miner rack, and like I say, the first one you're going to get free, the second one you can get through the challenge, and then your third one, if you buy a third one, that's gonna cost you 2,500. That'll be the first one you're spending any kind of money on. But like I say, they're 4 miner racks. The developer asked me, should he look to produce a 2 miner rack, and I said yes, definitely, because that's going to help the people with lower accounts. But it's also going to be quite considerably less than the 4 miner rack. But also as well, the great thing, which I said is got to be a definite, is that rack or needs to be resaleable on the marketplace. Now, whether the 4 miner racks are going to be saleable on the marketplace, I don't know. But I definitely suggested that the 2 miner rack should be resaleable, because that means that if you're in a property that can let's say you're on a low account, you've got a property that takes 3 or 4 racks, and they're all 2 miner racks, yeah? But you suddenly got enough money to buy yourself a 4 miner rack. Well, that means you can sell one of your 2 miner racks. You can replace that with a 4 miner rack. You've increased how many miners you've got in that property, but you've not had to move to a different property, because all you're doing is replacing each of those 2 miner racks in turn with 4 miner racks, and therefore, because it works on the amount of racks per building or per property, you can still have, you're not having to move, because you've still got 6 racks or 4 racks or 2 racks or whatever it is. It's just they're now gone from 2 miner racks up to 4 miner racks. So that was the point of me saying that they had to be saleable. So cross fingers, the developer is going to do that. He said to me that he was going to look to work on it, and hopefully they will be available in this in the shop for you guys soon. So like I say, if you've got smaller accounts and you can't spend, or you haven't got 2,500 or 3,000 CMC to buy a 4 miner rack, you can buy a 2 miner rack for quite a lot less. I'm assuming it'll probably be like 50% less. So so that's going to help you guys out. So yeah, so basically they are the big positives. Like I say, you can get, so we'll go through them. You can get more miners in a property. Your first miner is free. The cost of the property stays the same, even though you could put more miners in there. The smaller racks are going to be coming, and hopefully those smaller racks will be resellable on the marketplace. So they are the big positives about this update. So what are the negatives? Now, for those of you that have got accounts like me, which are quite large, you know what I'm going to be saying here. And the big negative, elephant in the room, is simply the fact that if your miners are not on a rack, they do not mine. So basically, I had no idea about this update, and I think you'll remember in the last video, if you went into the leaderboard, when we went into the leaderboard, I was like top 3, maybe top 5. But if we look right now, admittedly, I basically put 4 miners on a rack. You got to think that when I came in here, none of my miners were on racks. There was nothing. And if we go now, I'm not on the first page. I'm not on the second page. I'm not on the third page. I'm not on the fourth page. So I'm not. What's that? The 6th page. here, I'm 93rd. So, and that's basically because I got my free rack and I put those 4 miners on it. Yeah? But like I say, for 24 hours, I assume the update was implemented at some time in the evening or something like that. For those hours, I was not mining at all. I came into my account and I look on the leaderboard and I was, even further down than this because obviously I had no miners mining at all, and it's like, and I'm looking, I'm thinking, my property's saying active, so it's not that my rent is due. I had no idea what was going on. And then I've sort of followed the breadcrumbs. I've gone into the property and then I've gone into the inventory, and then I suddenly spotted that thing that said racks, and then and obviously that the first rack was free. So we got that, we put our 4 S5s on there, and now we're in 93rd place. But you got to realize, and this is my massive gripe with this, is that, people like me, there's literally hundreds of us that have been working on our accounts for years and years to get them to the point where they are, basically get them to the point of basically passive income where we could just come in, we could basically buy a load of power units and then, let them run through the day and then come again in the evening, buy some more power units, and then that would allow them to run through the night and just keep doing that. And that took a lot of hard work to get to that point. And then basically with this update, that has all been completely wiped out. All that time has just been completely wiped from the board, which is really the first of a few massive kicks in the groin. Really, as far as I'm concerned, that is a massive kick in the groin. Basically, because like I say, we've got all these miners, but they're not doing anything because they're not on racks. And then the next kick in the groin is that we now have to then purchase racks to put our miners on. But by purchasing the racks, we're not getting anything extra. We're not getting any kind of bonus from the racks like you do in Roller Coin or anything like that. We're not getting any kind of additional thing for doing this. So basically we've got to put loads more work in to earn CMC, to purchase the racks, to put our miners on, to get back to exactly where we were. That is just rubbing salt into the wound as far as I'm concerned. And then the third kick in the groin, which I literally just discovered in the previous version of this video, which unfortunately I did not save. But if we go into the shop, and this is what I was talking about, is that if we go into the racks, so like I say, the first rack states that it's 2000 CMC. Yes, it's free, so you're cool, yeah. But then the second rack, which let's say the third rack, because you've got the second rack from your challenge, yeah. So the third rack that you purchase is 2,500, right? So that's an increase of 25%, yeah. So then you come to this rack, which is 30, which is 3,000, which is an increase of, again, which is an increase of 50%, but that's from the initial rack, I'm guessing. But it, like I say, the fact that the racks are increasing is just, as far as I'm concerned, is absolutely bang out of order, and should definitely not. Now, I'm sure the developer will say, but this works the same as the shop. But the point of the miners increasing, like say for instance, if we go in here, we'll look at a miner I've bought. So here, so S3 miners, right? Because I own a few of these, this price goes up. Yeah, every time you buy one, the price goes up. And the point of that is to essentially stop people ending up with massively huge accounts, or buying loads of miners to sell on the marketplace. So if you're holding those miners, every time you go and buy one, it increases in price. And I totally get that. The point of, like I say, is to slow people down so people don't end up with ridiculously huge accounts and monopolizing the whole website. And I totally get that. But doing that on the racks, that makes no sense. All that is like I say, that's just rubbing even more salt into the wound, because I've already spent thousands upon thousands upon thousands of CMC buying my miners. Now I've got to spend more thousands. I've got to put more work in to buy racks. And then not only have I got to buy the racks, but every single rack I buy costs more and more and more. Which is, like I say, that is just absolutely ridiculous as far as I'm concerned. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that the developer should not implement things into the website to help them earn more from the site. That's not what I'm saying. That's not at all what I'm saying. Because at the end of the day, the developer puts a lot of work into the website to, and they should get a return. But like I say, in this instance with the racks, as far as I'm concerned, that is going to end up discouraging people from buying racks. So I think you're going to start getting people that have got large accounts like myself buying a few racks, maybe buying, say, 3 or 4 racks, or basically, so you get your free one, you get the one from the challenge, and then let's say buy 2 more. Put some miners on, and then any miners over the top of that, they just start selling. They just start putting on the marketplace, and then basically all that CMC they get from the sale of those miners just start withdrawing it. And I could see that happening. Because the thing is as well is, if we go into the properties, that's 7 racks, right? So each one of those, from the 3rd rack, so 2,500, you've got 4 racks that are just going up and up and up. And then if I move over to this one, I've got to then purchase another 2 racks, which could be anything up to 5,000 CMC. But again, you're not getting anything extra from that rack. All that does is allow you to put your miners on it that you already own, to allow you to earn coins that you should be earning anyway. You know what I'm saying? It's it's the whole thing with this update has just been done completely wrong as far as I'm concerned. Even talking to the developer, whenever I brought up the fact that, okay, I now got 23 miners doing nothing, because of your update, all they kept saying to me was, yeah, but this is the update, it's a real positive thing, and down the line you're going to see the positives and all the things that are going to be added after. Yes, great, but that does not help me now, does it? That doesn't help me now. That doesn't help all those thousands of your members that are in the same boat, that have literally spent years building their account, and now they're earning basically nothing because you've decided to, the way you've implemented this is you've essentially deactivated everybody's miner, and then forced them into purchasing your racks, which are increasing in price every rack. Yeah, I mean, it's, for me, that is, like I say, the implementation is just completely wrong. There should have been a choice as far as I'm concerned. I mean, when I spoke to the developer, they said to me that this was the only way to implement this update. It was the only way to implement this update. And I can't disagree. I can't argue that point because I don't know about programming. I don't know about running these kind of faucets. I don't know about that. But for me, what it smacks of is, rather than putting a bit of extra work in to give the members an option whether to have racks or not have racks, it's like, it seems to me the developer has just picked the easiest route, and that is to just dump everybody's miners, and then it's like, right, you've got to purchase these racks, otherwise your account's going to do nothing. And it's sort of like tough, and that's the kind of thing I don't like, because again, when talking to the developer, anytime I try to bring up the fact that, you know, I've spent all this time building this account, I've now got an account that does nothing, you know, all they kept saying is, you know, yeah, but it's a really good update, you know, you'll see the positives and stuff like that. And that's all they kept saying to me. But like I say, that does not help me now. That doesn't help me now. It doesn't help you guys out there, you know. And I just think the implementation of this has been completely wrong. The update itself, I think, is fine. But like I say, the way it's been put into the site is wrong. Because like I say, there should have been a choice. I think what should have been done is that you can, if you want to leave your account as it is, that's fine. Yeah, and the amount you're mining and the amount of power your miners are producing stays the same. But we're going to introduce these racks just like Rollercoin have, and basically you could do that for every, you know, on each rack you could do like Rollercoin. So each miner that you add, you get say 2% or 3% bonus to each miner. But if you don't want to do that, what you could do is, rather than doing 3, 4, 5% on, you know, each miner on each rack, what you could do is that basically you do a 1 or 2% bonus on your whole power. Yeah, on your whole power. But and I think that would have been a much better. I think having that choice, whether you want racks or not wanting racks, I think that's the way it should have been done. You know, like I say, I just think it's all been done. It's just been done wrong. Like I say, the update I have no problem with, but I just think it's been done wrong. So anyway, let's go into the properties, and we're going to put our miners onto the racks, the ones we've purchased, and we're going to see where we end up. And also you're going to see another, well, obviously I've sort of explained it, but yeah, the other downside of this. Okay, so if we go back to miners, so the way you do this is you simply select the miner you want. Each rack has essentially got a serial number, yeah, and then you find that serial number in the drop down. So we want to add our S5s, so we're looking for 105. That's the next one in line, and then we just go install there. So that's installed 1, install there, install there, and install that one. Okay, so that's put our other 4 S5s. So we've got 8 S5s running now. And then with this is serial number 1238124. So we find that we got our Avalons. We find that here in the drop down, and then we install that, our Avalons, onto that rack. So the process is really simple, which I like. Again, you know, as always, this developer does good work. They put a lot of time into this site, and I will always praise them for constantly trying to push their site forward. But like I say, the way this update has been added in is just wrong. It's just, for me, it's just bang out of order, especially for people with large accounts. Because even for people with lower accounts, it's not nice. But it's sort of like, because you've got such, because you've got lower accounts, essentially your requirement to purchase stuff is lower, and then obviously, and then you're now aware that you know what you're working with. Whereas, I've got 12 miners here, yeah, and discounting the ones we won from the challenge, because like I say, I'll be putting them on the marketplace. But we've got 12 miners here. I still have 15 miners, I think. So let's have a look. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 miners. In fact, I didn't realise I've actually got an S5 there, which, so if you ever want to remove stuff, you've got the lock. You just click on the red lock and that will remove it. I didn't realise I've got an S5 down here. So we can put that S5 on there. I've got no other S5. Right. So, okay, so we've just added that S5 there. So now we've done that. And like I say, so those 13 miners are not doing anything. I'm not earning anything from these 13 miners that are here. Like I say, I'm not counting these little ones, but these 13 miners here. In fact, is that not? Yeah, 13 miners are not doing anything, and will not do anything until I purchase a rack to put them on. And like I say, every rack I purchase increases in price. So like I say, I just think it's just out of order. I just think it's just not been done well at all. So anyway, let's go back to the leaderboard. So like, remember, I was in 3rd, 5th place. So let's see where we are now. Right, so still not in the top 15. Still not in the top 30. So we've gone from 93rd place up to 34th. So we've gained 60 places, but I'm still about 30 places away from where I was, because I cannot use those miners. And like I say, for me, it's just a massive. I could sit here all day and constantly go on about how disgruntled I am about the way this has been implemented. And like I say, I understand and I know the developer has got good intentions with this. And going forward, hopefully, great things will materialize on the website from this. But it's just lack of foresight, or the fact that I would say it's actually looking too far forward. So the developer has looked beyond this update and they've looked at everything else they want to do to the site after that. But what they've not looked at is the consequences of this update and what it has done to everybody's account. They said there's no other way of doing it. I personally don't feel that is correct. But like I say, I'm not a programmer. I don't run a faucet. So like I say, I'm not the right person to say that. But I'm sure if with a bit more time put into it, I think that an alternative could have been done without dumping everybody's miners to the point where basically people aren't earning anything without their racks. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so massive. Obviously, I'm sure this could create a massive debate. I want to hear your posts. I want to see you posting below this video. I want to hear, if you've got positives about this, then great. Even if you think I'm being bang out of order, or I'm the one without the foresight, then fine, put that down. But also as well, if you're having a similar experience to me, or you have similar thoughts to me, put that in as well. I want to I want to hear the positives. I want to hear the negatives. I want to hear everybody's thoughts on this, because like I say, I'm looking at it from my point of view, but I'm also thinking about everybody else and the situation that you've suddenly come into your account and found the same thing I found. let me know. Let me hear about it. I want to hear. I want to see you guys talking about this, and so we've got an idea of what people are really thinking about this. So anyway, I'm going to leave that there. I hope you found that helpful and informative. If you can, smash that like button. It really, really does support my channel, which then helps me make more content to help you. So take care. Have a great rest of your weekend, and I'll speak to you soon. Thanks a lot. Bye.